Chapter 18, Lesson 4, Mixed Numbers times Mixed Numbers. Now, what you'll notice here on these steps to success is pretty much the same thing what we've talked about the past three lessons. In order to multiply fractions, I gotta have fractions. So, I'm gonna make my mixed numbers in proper fractions. I'm going to multiply across and then simplify if needed. Or, step 1 stays the same, make my mixed numbers in proper fractions, cross simplify, then I'm going to multiply across, then simplify if needed. Remember, it's all about doing the work. Where I want to do it. Do I want to simplify at the beginning, or do I want to simplify at the end? Okay. So making mixed numbers in proper fractions. Let's do a quick refresher. Remember, we're going around the world. Okay, so I multiply and then I add. So 3 times 1, 1 times 3 plus 1 gives me 4. So 4 is my numerator and my denominator stays the same as 3. Okay, think about it this way. If I have one whole pizza, my pizzas are cut into 3 pieces. I eat one whole one and then a third of another. Well, how many pieces did I eat altogether? I had 4 pieces. Okay. Then I have 1 and 1/2. So again, I'm going to go around the world. I multiply, then I add. 1 times 2 plus 1 gives me 3 over 2. Now, do I want to simplify first? Sure I do. I can cross simplify here. I divide these both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I get 2 over 1, which equals 2. Wait a minute, how'd you get 2? Alright, oh, this is an improper fraction, and then I've got to go make it a mixed number again. So I do 2 divided by 1, and I get 2. Okay. Now, let's see something just a little bit different here. What if I didn't simplify first? I would have had 12 over 6. Now this one, like I said, you should be able to fit 12 divided by 6. We should be able to do that in our head. Okay? If not, we'll do it over here on the paper just like I have. Still get 2. But with the larger numbers, my whole numbers are bigger. These numbers get a little bit more difficult. So go ahead and give the video a pause, and why don't you try 1 3/4 times 3 1/2. If you had 6 1/8 as your answer, you're correct. So 1 3/4 does become 7/4. 3 1/2 becomes 7/2. How to do that? 1 times 4 plus 3 gives me 7. 3 times 2 plus 1 gives me 7. My denominator stay the same. Can I cross simplify? Nope. And nope. So 7 times 7 is 49. 4 times 2 is 8. Man, how do I make an improper fraction a mixed number? Oh, yeah, that's right. I divide. So 49 divided by 8. And I get 6. 6 times 8 is 48. 49 minus 48 is 1. My fraction is 1/8. So I get 6 and 1/8 is my answer. 6 and 1/8 is my answer. Alright, let's move on. 6 1/2 times 3, or 1 3/5. So why don't you go ahead and quickly, while I'm getting a marker, go ahead and try your improper fractions. I'll give you a little hint. Remember, around. My numerator, you guessed it, 13. And over here, my numerator is 8. Now here's where simplifying, can I simplify 13 to 5? Nope. How about the 2 and the 8? I sure can. Do you want to multiply 2 times 8? No, I don't either. So divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I can multiply across. 5 times 1 is 5. 13 times 4. Oh man, I can't do that in my head. So I'm going to go ahead and write it out here. 3 times 4 is 2. Carry the 1. And that gives me 5. So 52. 13 times 4 is a whole lot easier than 13 times 8. So that's why I really like the simplifying before. Now, I have an improper fraction. So I got to make it a mixed number. So 52 divided by 5. 1, get 0, bring down the 2. 0 groups fit in there, so I'm left with 2/5. So 6 1/2 times 1 3/5 gives me 10 2/5. Now, we didn't talk much about, gosh, am I anywhere near the answer? Well, let's find out. Now here's what I'm doing. Here's the thought process. I know my answer can be no less than 6. Why? Because all I did was drop the fraction. 6 1/2. If I drop the fraction, I get 6. I drop the fraction, I get 1. Then if I add 1 to my whole number, 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I know my answer has to be in between 6 and 14. Is my answer in between 6 and 14? Yep, sure is. Now, again, how did I come up with that? Well, 6 1/2 is in between 6 and 7. 1 3/5 in between 1 and 2. So I took my low end, took the high end, multiplied them together, and that's what I got. So I want you to multiply these two, and then use that same thinking with the estimates just to make sure you're in the right ballpark. So here I have 1 1/5 became 6/5. 1 1/2, 3/2. I can simplify the 2 and the 6. 2 divided by 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 2 is 3. See what happens when you rush through things? You make silly mistakes. So 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so 9/5 is the same thing as 1 4/5. Now, let's check to make sure I have the right answer. Again, my low estimates, 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, just drop the fractions. And then here I added 1 to the whole number. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So is my answer in between 1 and 4? Sure is. I'm good to go. Here's your bell work for tomorrow. Good luck, and we will see you in class tomorrow.